Members of JTF2, whose faces you'll never see, are called upon to intercept a vessel carrying a passenger they believe is a threat.
All right, y'all, welcome back to Combat Arms channel. Okay, so today we're checking out the Canadian Joint Task Force 2. Again, so this is a branch of the Canadian Special Forces. But before we get into the video, again, I do have my awesome elf on a shelf here rappelling, and then we also have our Christmas lights in the background because Christmas is coming up very, very shortly. So awesome if you guys celebrate it. That's cool. If not, happy holidays regardless. I'm trying to get into the Christmas spirit over here in Korea. I'm not sure if Korea really celebrates Christmas so much, but I mean, I saw some Halloween decorations previously, so I guess they sort of Americanized some things, but regardless, I'm trying to get into the spirit here in my videos and here in my barracks room. So again, before we get into the video, if you guys haven't checked out my merch, I have some awesome merch. So I have a few designs like this one right here. You guys can go check out on Redbubble and Teespring. You also see them posted up underneath the video, so you guys can scroll through that, see if there's any designs or any products that you like. Because I have hoodies, which are more prominent now because it's getting very cold over here. Hoodies, sweatshirts, I have stickers, mugs, all that good stuff. So feel free to check it out. And again, if you guys aren't subscribed, definitely scroll down real quick, see if you're subscribed, because about 92% of the viewers aren't subscribed. And again, that is just due to the nature of reaction videos. You guys aren't going to be interested in everything that I'm posting. And of course, if you're not, YouTube's not going to recommend it. So if you do want to check out all the other videos that might not get recommended, you can hit that little bell and get notified just so you get like the little notification on your phone or whatever whenever I do upload a video. So I do appreciate it. This is a huge recommendation. So again, we have a couple videos. One is specifically about the JTF2, and then another one is like a recruitment video for like the overall Canadian Special Forces. So we'll start off with that one, and then we'll go to the one specifically about the JTF2. But the first video is like a recruitment style video. There's not a whole lot of footage out there on these guys, understandably. But this is like a recruitment video. It's got the JTF2, the CSOR, which we checked out previously, and then the Canadian Joint Incident Response Unit, which I didn't even hear about before. So we'll check out this awesome recruitment video, and then we'll go into the other video specifically about the JTF2. So let's do it. That commando dagger, hell yeah. So yeah, it's going to be a bunch of different clips from these different units. So we're going to see a wide range of stuff going on. And I love that right there. So that's not something you'll see a whole lot. I'll say that immediately. Just actually getting into your L shape for the rappel while it's moving, that is a really good idea just to make it a lot quicker. But I mean, again, that's just due to the nature of what you know and what you don't know. Sometimes you might not want to be hanging from the side of a helicopter if you're going to a place that has enemy contact or something, but it looks super badass. We can see they have their rappelling rings, so it looks like this is sort of like a figure 8 descender, but it looks a little bit different from the ones that I've used. And yeah, pretty awesome rappel setup. And then we'll see them rappelling while the helo is getting into that hover, which is super dope. That's very, very cool. That'd be so much fun too. Look at that, dude. So smooth. Hey, there we go. Nice rifles. I don't know if that's the like C8 rifle. Pretty nice setup though. Okay, so again, I'm not sure which ones specifically are the JTF2. So we'll try and keep an eye out for like patches or something. Sick rifle. Pretty standard looking equipment. So we can see, yeah, it's pretty standard stuff. So we have the high cut helmets, of course, that's pretty standard. So this is like a bump style helmet that So if you can see right over here, that's like a bump style helmet. So it's just like polycarbonate, made just for like lightweight operations. When you're not so much worried about the protection of like ballistics or like protection from rounds, you're just focused on having like something hard so you're not dinging your head too much. But yeah, they have those rifles. This guy has like looks like a variable optic or some sort of magnified optic. And then of course they got the balaclavas just to conceal their faces, and very similar camouflage that you'd see in the U.S. Marine Corps. And the body armor looks pretty standard. So yeah, pretty cool stuff so far. Not sure what that red dot sight was, so. Okay, here we go. It's always so dope to check out these divers. Okay. The maritime stuff is really, really cool, especially on ship. Alright, some fast roping. Definitely preferred over rappelling, in my opinion. I like the look of these guys, though. Very, very cool gear. Okay, so I guess this is, yeah, like so they're doing like a chemical sweep, I guess, where they're trying to see if there's any radioactive material. I'm not really sure what that specific, like, I guess it's like a type of sensor. I'm not familiar with that. I've only really used like the JCAD for like CBurn sort of, sensor or early detection. But yeah, you can see he's got a pretty sick gas mask. He's got some electronic hearing protection. And yeah, overall, these guys look pretty different from the other guys we were checking out just a second ago. Those are some nice little trucks, though. Okay. The snow warfare is always so sick. Okay. All right, so that was very cool. Again, we got to see a bunch of the different special operations coming into play. Now, it's really cool to see like the slight deviations of how people do the specific things, like actually setting up for the rappel while the aircraft is moving. That's not something you'll see with pretty much any U.S. units. And that's generally just like a safety thing. But, I mean, maybe some really hardcore special forces would practice with that. But, yeah, that's the first time I've actually really seen that in the video. So that's really cool to see. We saw the divers. I think one dude had like an interesting machine gun, like a grease gun or something. I don't know what that was, but yeah, we had the divers. We had their specific equipment tailored for them. So again, these guys are going to have a bunch of different roles, and they're going to have different equipment to suit that, like we saw with the CBurn expert there. But now let's check out this one. So this is called Veil of Secrecy Lifted in JTF2 demonstration. So I guess this is just like a little demonstration that the JTF2 did for the general public. So it looks like a maritime sort of operation. So let's check it out. Should be cool.
Task Force to a unit with specialized skills unlike any other in the Canadian Forces. Until recently, officials wouldn't even publicly acknowledge its existence. Today, unprecedented access. Here they are for the first time on display for the cameras.
Right. We tested your response to an entirely plausible threat, that of ships entering.
Okay, so I think there was a specific operation that happened that brought the JTF2 into the limelight. We've seen this with like the SAS, especially with like the Iranian embassy siege, where you have these really low-key units just brought into the spotlight because something crazy happens and the general public gets to see it. So I'm not sure if these individuals in the background are actually part of the JTF2. It looks like they have like some sort of, I thought it was badges at first, but it might not be. It might just be their specific symbol. But yeah, they all look pretty hardcore. And again, maritime operations are a whole nother beast. So you need people who can specialize in that. I know like in the UK, they have 4-2 Commando that specializes in the maritime operations. So this is like a very similar thing. You need those people to specialize for that. And yeah, it's a whole nother beast. So it's really cool to check out though.
Entering our waters illegally. I was deeply impressed, and frankly, as a Canadian, I was unabashedly proud of the skill and precision with which you performed.
That dude is very Canadian.
The theme is national
Here we
security,
go.
the operation quite significant, mostly because the tasks are so complex. Members of JTF2, whose faces you'll never see, are called upon to intercept a vessel carrying
dude.
a passenger.
Nice recovery.
It's important for them.
Oh, okay, I want to see that again. I don't know what was happening there. So I guess they had this one dude just, what happened? He just ran out. So this is like an assailant. So one, I love their look with the dark like assault suits. Some dudes have like tan boots, tan helmets. That's just like a really cool look. So this dude comes
You'll
out.
never see are called.
Oh, he gets nice and low. That's a good way to do it. Someone's charging you, just get nice and low. I mean, preferably if he has like a knife, you wouldn't do that. But he did it really well there just to knock that dude off balance. And then, of course, the buddy's on him real quick.
To intercept a vessel carrying a
But that
passenger
recovery,
they
though.
believe is a threat.
And this dude,
For them,
hell
to,
yeah.
to be seen to be contributing to Canada's overall defense, because a lot of what we do is in the shadows.
JTF2 has done work in Haiti, Afghanistan, Libya, and repeatedly in Iraq.
Okay, I'm sorry. I gotta say, it's hard. It's very hard to rappel onto a ship. I'll say that right now. But it's so funny trying to see people trying to get their footing. I mean, we have like my dude back here doing his rappelling. And it looks like very simple, very basic. But dude, when you're actually rappelling, it's like crazy. He looks pretty motionless, but when you're actually rappelling, you're moving like side to side because you have the rotor downwash affecting you. So you start spinning sometimes you're swaying a bunch. And especially when you're going onto a ship, yeah, it'll move a lot. So we can see here.
Who has done work in Haiti?
He's just swinging. He's like, fuck, dude, I'm trying to get my footing. And then, yeah, he just does like this cool power slide onto the deck.
Afghanistan, Libya, and reportedly
And then
Iraq
these guys,
to rescue a
these guys get
Canadian
on there.
hostage. This exercise isn't just for
I got a
Canadians
kick out
to
of that.
see. It is for the world to know what Canada is capable of.
They're
It's
they're
more
badass
demonstrative
though.
today
Clearly
because
badass.
There's more interest up there in just showing that we have the ability to reach out anywhere at any time.
Officials say this
Okay.
is all part of the natural evolution of the unit. JTF2 was bound to one day be in the public eye.
Right.
JTF2 has gone from being a covert unit to soon having a promotional video online. In a month or so, the Canadian Forces will be posting a recruitment video.
Is that what we just saw?
of the Canadian Forces themselves and the Canadian public. Danielle Hamamjian, CTV
Very cool.
News aboard HMCS St. John in Hudson Bay.
All right. That was really cool to check out. Again, it's awesome when you have like the recruitment video is going to be very specific, but when you have these specific demonstrations, it's going to be kind of hard to make everything look super clean, super professional. I mean, we saw the one dude, he tripped, he had a solid recovery. And then we had these other dudes who are trying to rappel onto the ship, but I think the ship was listing, so they couldn't really get their footing because the ground was moving or something. And again, when you're on ship, things can get very wet. And when you have like, if you don't have like the non-skid, which is like the weird like paint they put on ships, if you don't have that and you just have a bunch of wet metal, that's also going to be hard to get your footing. So yeah, that demonstration was awesome. Super funny to check out. But those guys look very serious. You can see whenever that stuff did happen, they, regained their composure and they got their aggression back into play really quick. So that really goes to show with the discipline and professionalism. When something does mess up or something does happen, that quick recovery of the people at least getting their footing or covering security like we saw with his buddies. So that was an awesome video. Kind of funny, but I can really understand the struggle, especially for demonstrations. Things just happen to go wrong, and it is what it is. But okay, awesome units. I really would love to see more of their maritime operations. Again, their kit was really cool. I loved like the black assault suits and the short-barreled rifles and the painted rifles. Really cool. So imagine if their rifles were painted, they might not just be maritime. They might do other specific stuff, or maybe it was painted for a deployment to Afghanistan or something. But yeah, that's just what I noticed. So these guys might get called, and they probably do get called to do other things that aren't just maritime. But yeah, if you're trained with maritime, if you can be proficient with maritime operations, then you're going to be pretty solid with, normal land operations. But awesome recommendation nonetheless. Again, Canadian Special Forces, Canadian Armed Forces, we've seen do a really good job of making sure they get into that right mindset and taking things seriously. It's really what we've seen with the United Kingdom and the British forces as well, even though it might be a little bit smaller than what we see with like the United States. Just that discipline and that professionalism and that solid training makes up for that. Yeah, so very cool to check out. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you know any other videos that I could check out about these guys, feel free to put that down in the comments section. I'll be willing to check it out. Probably won't do a reaction to it, but I love checking out stuff. I love looking at cool training, looking at cool gear, and yeah, just learning a little bit more. So feel free to send any recommendations for any other forces down in the comments section. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely consider subscribing, hitting that bell so you're notified whenever I upload another reaction video. And I do hope you guys appreciated my very topical repelling elf on a shelf, and then also the Christmas lights. So again, if you guys don't celebrate Christmas, happy holidays. But yeah, that is it for this video. So I will see y'all in the next one.